Good afternoon, everyone. It is Sunday, August the 11th, 2019. It is currently 2:54 p.m. Central Time, and this is a live broadcast for the VBC 66 app. A live broadcast for the VBC 66 app. We were live just a few minutes ago, and all of a sudden, everything stopped working. And I think I know the reason why. Let me explain. Sometimes when I go live, I'm using the iPad that I'm going live on and doing the live broadcast through. I also use to access some information. So I went to a news article. If the news article has any kind of pop-ups or videos that try to start playing, what it will do is silence the live broadcast and cause it to stop. And I did not realize that the article that I was going to access for this live broadcast that website had some things popping up that actually stopped the live broadcast from playing. So that's what happened. I apologize. So let's do this again. Welcome everyone to a live broadcast take 2 for Sunday, August the 11th, 2019 at 2:56 p.m. Central Time. This is a live broadcast for the VBC 66 app, and it is being recorded for the Socratic Circle podcast as well. So this is a live Socratic Circle podcast episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not familiar with the Socratic Circle podcast, it is a podcast that definitely looks at things from a more philosophical perspective. When I saw the news article that I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes and tried to figure out which podcast I wanted to record this for, I thought about the Socratic Circle podcast only because someone had asked me about it just, 15, 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. And I thought, okay, I need to record something from it. Right now on the Socratic Circle podcast, we've been looking at some articles about an article dealing with, can we trust ourselves? I think it's a very important concept, and we'll get back to that as soon as possible. But we're going to interrupt that today for a news article that I think is very interesting. Now, if you would like to keep up with all of our podcast, 2 ways to do so, and I apologize to everyone who already heard this a few minutes ago, but I have to say it again for the recording. Get the VBC 66 app. You can do that through the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. VBC, which stands for Victory Baptist Church, the number 66. VBC 66, get the app. Then you have access to everything. Also, you can get the Spreaker app, and then there you'll have access to our VBC podcast, our Hermeneutics podcast, our Socratic Circle podcast, our News and Focus podcast, and all the other things that we try to do. You can listen to the live broadcast as well through the Spreaker app. So a lot of different ways. We're also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and countless other platforms. So if you're trying to find us, email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com, and I will help you be able to listen to everything that we produce. All right. Hopefully that is beneficial. All right. Now I got to start all over. I was in the groove. I was going in, and then everything got ruined. So I have to start anew. All right. So don't you wish life had a start over button? Don't you wish life you could just do that? When things go wrong in your life, you could just push the, oh well, everything got messed up. Just, start over. I guess in a way you can, right? I mean, now we could get really philosophical. You can start over. Now, no one around you may think you can, and everyone else may hold you to what you were and to what you did, and you can't really start over. But as far as you are concerned, you can start over. Do you live your life through your perception of your life, or do you live your life greatly influenced by the perception of others? And then you're trapped by their perception. A lot of things we can talk about. All right, here we go. Here is the news article. You ready? All right, this comes to us from space.com. It was posted 2 days ago. I apologize for being late with this news article. However, the reason I'm running a little late is I just saw this a few minutes ago. It is going to be speaking about something that was supposed to happen today. I don't know if it has already happened or if it will happen later tonight, but that's not really the point here. The point here is the philosophy in this news article, and I want to get to that. All right, here we go. Headline: Mad Flat Earther to launch himself 5,000 feet up on a homemade steam rocket Sunday, all right? Mad flat earther to launch himself 5,000 feet up on a homemade steam rocket Sunday. Now let's stop right there. There's a lot of things here. The word mad there, I think is kind of a nickname he has for himself. We'll see that in the news article. But a flat earther. Here's a human being who's alive in 2019. And despite what I would say is overwhelming evidence that we do not live on a flat earth, we've got satellite images from space showing the earth is not flat. In spite of all of that, there are a number of individuals in 2019 who believe the earth is absolutely flat. There's a flat earth conference where people come from around the world come and they have speakers and they have presentations and they have workshops and everyone gets together to say, man, the earth is flat and all these people in the world are confused and it's a conspiracy and they're all being misled. However, this man believes the earth is flat, but in spite of believing the earth is flat, or because the earth is flat, whatever his motivation is, he's launching himself 5,000 feet up in the air on a homemade rocket. Now, why is this man launching himself 5,000 feet into the air? Danger is obviously attached to it. Things could go horribly wrong. Why would he do this? Well, let's see what the article has to say. Mad Mike Hughes, a flat earther, rocket builder, and daredevil who previously launched himself 1,875 feet into the air on a homemade rocket, will attempt to launch himself again to a much higher altitude this Sunday, August the 11th. The attempt will be filmed by the Science Channel for the upcoming new series, Homemade Astronauts. In March of 2018, after a few failed attempts, Hughes successfully launched aboard his rocket and survived the trip, landing via parachute. The then 62-year-old Hughes walked away with some soreness and a compressed vertebrae. He told Space.com in the upcoming launch attempt, Hughes will aim for an even greater height of 5,000 feet. Hughes will lift off aboard a refurbished, improved version of the steam-powered rocket he launched last year. He told Space.com. He's using steam to propel his rocket, both because it's inexpensive and relatively simple. There's no fuel cost. It's water, he said. All right, now they go to a little bit more information here. I'll skip down. He's going to take off from a mobile platform. Last time he did from the back of a motorhome. This time it'll be from the back of a semi-truck that was given to him. And coverage of his 2018 launch, media outlets reported that Hughes was launching to photograph the curvature of the Earth and prove that the Earth is flat. That was after Hughes told AP News, I don't believe in science. There's no difference between science and science fiction. Now, we have to stop right there and go, that's kind of a crazy comment. There's no science. Science doesn't exist. Then how are you, what didn't science have to be involved in some way, shape, or form to even have rockets that launch into space? That's kind of a crazy quote, but that's okay. But that's what he's told AP News. However, Hughes refuted some of these claims in an interview with Space.com. Though he does believe the Earth is flat, and he ascribes to many other conspiracy theories, there isn't enough time or space to explain them all. These beliefs are irrelevant to his career as an amateur rocketeer. He said, I believe the Earth is flat, but this flat Earth has nothing to do with steam rocket launches, he told Science.com. All right, so there is some conflicting reports. Is he launching up to see whether his belief is true or whether it's false? In the previous one, supposedly he launched to take photographs to prove the Earth is flat. I don't know, when he got done. He still believes the Earth is flat, so obviously it didn't change his mind last time. But now he's kind of backing away from that, going, no, it has nothing to do with that. All right, whether it does or whether it doesn't, here's what I want to do with the article. I read the article and it was a challenge to me, and I want to place the challenge to you. How far would you go to prove what you believe to be true? We all believe things. We all believe things. Everyone believes things. And when I say believe things, that means I believe this, but we may not necessarily have an overwhelming amount of evidence to 100% support it or to be 100% dogmatic about it. But we believe it. We all hold to beliefs. We may hold to a lack of belief. We may say, I don't believe in this, or I believe, but even to not believe in something, then you have to believe that those things that you don't believe in are not true. So in a sense, it's still a kind of a belief, because unless you have a great amount of proof one way or the other, we all hold to certain beliefs, right? There's a little bit of faith in everything. We believe that this is going to happen. We have certain expectations. Maybe we don't like the word beliefs. But how concerned are we, or how dedicated are we? How much are we willing to risk? How far are we willing to go to truly test what we believe? A lot of people hold to, and the reason I say this, especially in the political climate that we are in 2019, everyone holds to these crazy beliefs about all kinds of ideas. And when I say crazy, I'm just saying crazy in the sense of crazy that people are so adamant that their way of thinking is right. They'll fight anyone who questions their way of thinking. However, when you really start talking to them, in many cases, they don't really know anything about the subject which they are so adamantly arguing about and fighting others in regards to. So how much are they really committed to testing their belief, challenging their belief, figuring out if it's true, figuring out if it's wrong? And you can name 100 issues. If you have a certain belief about foreign policy, let's say foreign policy, right? Whether we should be involved in this situation, how much do you even really know about the situation? And what is the basis for your belief in foreign policy? When you say, well, I don't believe our government should do this. Okay, what's that based off of? Did you read 20 books on foreign policy? What are the major foreign policies out there? What's the school of thought on this kind of foreign policy or this kind of foreign policy? It's like economics. Well, I believe we should hold to this. Okay, well, how much do you know about this economic theory? Well, I don't know. I mean, how many books? I've never read a book on economic theory, but I believe this is the way it should be done. It can be something as semi-controversial as the minimum wage. It should be a $15 minimum wage. Okay, and how much have you read on possible impact on economy and how that should work? And what are the ramifications of it? Oh, I believe we should do this for immigration. Well, how much have you read about immigration policies? I haven't read anything. So my question is, how far are you really willing to go to determine if what you think is right or if it's wrong? It's easy to say, I believe this. I believe the earth is flat. It's easy to say. But I'm not willing to look at any evidence to the contrary. But I'm going to be dogmatic about it. Are you willing to strap yourself to a rocket and launch yourself 5,000 feet, 5,000 feet into the air to see if you can prove one way or the other for yourself? Now, again, he's backing off, saying he's not doing it for that purpose, but it still serves as an analogy. Here's the way: whatever you believe about whatever issue, and you're passionate about. It doesn't matter if it's economics, politics, doesn't matter if it's religion, doesn't matter what it is. Are you willing? Here's the question to ask yourself. Are you willing to launch yourself 5,000 feet into space to test what you believe? To challenge it? Are you really willing to question what you believe? To test it, to challenge it, to see, to look, to consider? I think it's easier just to say, I believe this. It makes, and I gain some benefit from believing this, whatever the case may be. I almost started laughing. I have my screensaver on my Apple TV going on my big 65-inch 4K television. And right now they're showing a shot from space, from the International Space Station of Earth. Okay. And well, it's not flat. Okay. That's funny that just showed up. Okay. But, all right. I'm being distracted. See, I shouldn't have that on, but in all seriousness, we all think a lot of things. We all say we believe a lot of things. I just think sometimes we hold to it just for